it definitely, this is going to be a lighthearted story. You know, like it's not going to get into. Well, there might be a monster in there. I don't know. We could toss one in for something, but
that would spice up a few romantic
comedies.
Yeah.
Tossed in one good monster every now and then, it would keep guys coming back. So, but there's only 3 stages to this with the comedy, and the first one is this shadow of confusion that's cast over everything, because you've got these 2 people that clearly should be together. Everyone who's reading this can understand that they should be together. Everyone who watches the movie understands that they should be together, but there's something ridiculously foolish that's keeping them apart.
Yeah. Oh, what did I watch recently? That's so annoying. I watched a film again just last week, and it's the main character is sort of like, he's with this woman, and then he's always been in love with his friend. And well, I'm basically describing every romantic comedy film. And yeah, he falls in love with her, and his wife falls in love with someone else. And then but it twisted it on its head. And right at the end, which was usually sort of where, you know, he runs up and says, "Oh my God, I've loved you all along. Like, will you marry me?" They were married at the beginning of the film, and instead he does it in the exact same way as like a proposal, and he runs up and it's like, "Oh my God, I was just wondering if you would divorce me." And it was just like a really good twist on it. But, you know, like right from the beginning, you know, it did have those scenes where, you know, it's clear like who he's supposed to be with and who he's going to end up being with.
Yeah, and you're wondering, you know, it's like, well, let's go back talking about the Transformers. You know, why the Autobots and Decepticons can't just get together? I just don't see it.
We hate Transformers, don't we?
Yeah, we really do, and it's just Michael Bay's fault.
We've not bashed Transformers in like 10 minutes.
We gotta mention them again. So, and maybe we're taking this onto a comic level, you know, that and you as an author or an editor are seriously working on this, and so I'm not trying to belittle the comedy at all. This, you know, this is really good. You know, it definitely has a lot of place, and it can be a lot of fun to put it together. And so you're going to be looking at this, you know, and you're like, well, what can keep them in the way, you know, of being with each other? You know, it's like if Romeo and Juliet had been a comedy instead of a tragedy. You know, it starts off, it could have those comic elements, right? You've got 2 families that are opposed to each other, and they're keeping their kids apart, and you've got the groups of friends that are opposed to each other, you know, that are going to keep people apart. And that could play a ton of comic elements right into it, right there.
Yeah, and I know in Baz Luhrmann's remake, you know, that there was like a few like funny scenes in that, and yeah, it's a breeding ground, isn't it, for funny situations?
Yeah, it really is, you know, because we do, as humans, we laugh. This is one of our basic mechanisms, right? That we deal with stress and we deal with problems. A lot of people, you know, make fun of the situation, and that's their stress outlet for it. And it's the same kind of thing. We can take these situations which are just out of the world, you know, not possible, or just very stereotypical and blown up out of proportion, and make for very comic elements in between these 2 characters.
Yeah, especially in like a romantic story, you know, it really keeps the characters like accessible. And also, you know, you've got sort of like a guy trying to impress a girl, or a girl trying to impress a guy. Then there's just so much humor to be had there. But
then,
you know, this is also sort of like congruent with them, you know, not kind of working it out at the beginning. You know, maybe this is where like they're making a fool of themselves, or, you know, they just can't seem to figure it out. You know, there's something not working.
Right, you know, or it's the personalities are colliding the wrong way, and because the personality collided the wrong way, we move to the second part of this story. You know, the nightmare tangle, and everything that they're trying to do, the efforts that they're trying to make work, somehow get twisted and misunderstood, and it becomes a worse situation. You know,
it's usually where something's like misinterpreted, isn't it? And like someone gets in like loads of trouble.
And you know, and that they want it to work, and and someone's walked in, and the situation is, you know, is completely ridiculous. You know, I'm just seeing they're probably has walked into a room, and there's the hero or the heroine, and then there happens to be like a maid involved and perhaps a washing machine, and something else happens, and all of a sudden it's just a terrible situation.
Painting some crazy pictures in my head then.
Yeah, I know. Not a romantic comedy.
You hadn't separated the colors and the whites. Oh, that's
exactly.
terrible.
I know. It's like I can't be with you. You don't know how to do the laundry the right way. So it's ridiculous.
Especially if it's a maid and you're paying them. Oh God.
Thank you for listening, and come back next week for more. Please visit thebookeditorshow.com for show notes, links to guests, books and extras, and for information on how to be a guest on the show.